What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to Friday night late night agenda before the weekend arrives. The Reds, of course, have no game this weekend because Chelsea are taking part in the FA Cup semi-final. So, of course, as you all know, our game against Chelsea has been moved to next Wednesday, the day when we will see the Hendo Shuffle, the day when we will see the Premier League title raised above. Oh, it's going to be a great day, isn't it? I'm really looking forward to it. There's loads for us to get through tonight, my friends. I want to start off by congratulating Leeds United on their promotion back to the Premier League. I'm sure most of you guys know, but because West Brom lost 2-1 to Huddersfield today, Leeds are guaranteed promotion back up to the Premier League, and they could be joined by Brentford, who pretty much are in pole position now. If Brentford win their two remaining games, actually I think they need 4 points from their two remaining games, they will join Leeds and force West Brom into the playoffs. But look, as I said, there is a lot to get through tonight. I did start off by congratulating Leeds on being promoted, and rightly so, but there could be some good news for football fans, and it's been a while since we've heard this. It's been a while since I've been able to come on and say that there might actually be some good news. Now, the UK government have announced that they hope to start allowing fans back into stadiums from October. This may have to be done in a biosecure way, where we might see a situation where perhaps something like 40% of people are originally allowed in, and hopefully that then scales up as they go along. There are going to be some test events held over the summer as well, so keep an eye out on that one. Anyone living in the UK, I'm sure you guys already know about this news, but it is good news, and it seems like similar news is happening here in Ireland as well with the GAA. It looks like they're going to starting to be hopefully allowing 40% capacity inside Croke Park and other venues, which is good news because nobody knew when fans were going to be allowed back inside stadiums. We didn't know if we were going to have to go through the entirety of next season with no fans inside grounds, and as great as it has been to have football back for the end of this season, and of course from our perspective it allowed us to go and win the Premier League, it really isn't the same though without fans inside the ground. So even if it is a 40% capacity to start off with, it is a little bit of good news for an industry that has been struggling to keep the head above water a lot of the times with a lot of clubs. So let's see how this one pans out. I don't want to say for definite that it will certainly be happening in October, because you have to allow for, things to develop. But that is the plan that was announced today from the UK government anyway. So one to keep an eye on. But look, hello to everyone that's coming into the chat. Loads of stuff to go through tonight. Keely Smith, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Loads of stuff for us to get through. And when I say I've got transfer news tonight, or transfer rumours, strap yourselves in, folks, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 different stories that I have here to go through. And I suppose you all want to talk about Thiago first, because that is the big news. And with Thiago, there isn't just one source, there isn't just 2 sources, there's 3 actually to talk about tonight. So let's start off. The Thiago saga seems to be coming to or have a bit of a fresh twist or so in the last 24 hours. Bild in Germany have reported that Jurgen Klopp has approved the signing of Thiago from Bayern Munich. The report goes on to say the terms have already been agreed with the player, but that the fee remains the only potential stumbling block. It's believed Bayern Munich want something like €40 million, and that the Reds are only willing to offer €25 million. Now, there is a B-side to this conversation, and I'm sure you guys remember the name Varsky Sports. I think they're based out of Argentina, if my memory is correct. Well, there's also been an update from those guys with regard to the potential transfer of Thiago from Bayern Munich to Liverpool. They're saying that Bayern are, of course, demanding the figure that we just spoke about, but Liverpool are looking at offering them a base fee of around €25 million or £20 million, with the rest added on in potential clauses and bonuses. Now, I don't know if that's going to be acceptable to Bayern Munich or not, but what I can say is over the last 24 hours, maybe even a little bit longer, there certainly seems to be a lot more stuff coming out around Thiago potentially coming to Liverpool. I'm sure you've seen stories linking up to Manchester United. I'm sure you've seen stories linking him elsewhere. News also broke that he put his house up for sale in Munich. But I want to just cast your attention to something that came from Jan Fjørtoft, who you guys probably recommend or recognise from television interviews. Probably remember him as a former player, and of course he was somebody that we had the pleasure of interviewing on our channel at one point. He's had a little bit to say on it as well. So he was saying Ori Klopp asking for Thiago. Where was it? He said Klopp also wanted Werner, but the board/owners said no. What will they say now? Now, I'm going to touch back onto that in a second, because I don't want to let that comment go from Jan Fjørtoft. I want to look into it in a little bit more detail. But he said Thiago is not a Klopp type signing. He's 29, he's been struggling with injuries at times, still got more than 30 games a season in all competitions for Bayern since he came in 2013. He's talking about the people who are breaking the news having reliable sources, but will Liverpool's owners say yes to this player profile? And this is the big question that's been kind of bugging me over this whole Thiago transfer. I'm a little bit shocked, by the way, because I absolutely do believe Jan Åge Fjørtoft, because he's a very reputable man. He's a man that knows his stuff. And it worried me when I heard the phrase, or when I heard him say that Klopp wanted Timo Werner, but that the owners said no. That worries me, because all along I've always felt that it was a general consensus between the owners and Klopp around transfers. And when we didn't sign Timo Werner, I thought it was because, as a collective, Klopp and the owners said no to the deal. Now, if it turns out that Klopp wanted the player and he wasn't backed by the owners, then I have to say that that isn't fucking good enough, and we need better for this manager, because he's not asking for the sun, the moon and the stars. He's been fairly reasonable with his outlay on transfers. So if that is the case, and it's a big if because we don't know, we haven't been inside those negotiations, but if Klopp was refused Timo Werner, that's not good enough. And I'm sure that you guys will join me in saying that that's not good enough, because he's not like he's a manager that goes out there and wants to sign £200 million players on 350, 400 grand a week. So I don't know, that worried me a little bit, but I'm getting a little bit diverted here. Let's go back to talk about Thiago. Will it be a case that maybe Gini Wijnaldum goes in the opposite direction or moves on, as we spoke about before? I've looked at this in the aspect that would Thiago be an upgrade on Gini? And I would have to say yes, because it allows us to have a different style of player than we currently have at the club. Gini Wijnaldum is an excellent footballer, somebody who I love having at Liverpool, and somebody who I hope stays, if I'm being honest. Love Gini. But if I ask myself the question, is Thiago going to give us something a little bit different to Gini Wijnaldum? I would have to say yes. It remains to be seen whether this transfer can be hammered out. It looks like Liverpool have agreed a wage package with Thiago and his representatives. And if we're talking about Bayern wanting €40 and Liverpool offering €25 million plus bonuses, we're probably not a million miles away from getting to somewhere where both clubs would be happy. What do you guys think? I'm going to hand it over to the chat before I go through the rest of the transfer gossip that I have today. Of course, Klopp wanted Werner. That was so obvious at Elijah John 5. That's a joke, if true, said Ryan Brown. Ryan, mate, it really would annoy me as well if that's the case, because I've always got the impression from listening to Klopp in interviews and stuff that there's just a general consensus, and that sometimes Klopp looks at a player and doesn't think that the figures add up, or doesn't think that there's value to be had there. None of us can realistically say that 50 million for Timo Werner wasn't good value. I think anybody can agree that that is good value. I mean, Chelsea, as far as I'm concerned, got himself a very good signing there for very reasonable money. The wages, I suppose, look, that is a topic of conversation, but at the end of the day, he is now a Chelsea player, so it's kind of irrelevant that we're having this conversation. But I just feel like it's a conversation we should be having in regards to the owners, because that's just not good enough if that is the case. And I don't know if it's the case, but if it is, it's just not great, is it? Right, let's go on. Feel like Milner would be off to Leeds, said Banana. Well, he just had his contract extended, mate, not so long ago, so I would be surprised if the club allow James Milner to go to Leeds. I don't know if Milner wants to go to Leeds, by the way, but what we can say for certain is Kloppo absolutely loves Jimmy Milner, mate. He loves having him at the club. Param said Gini is the shielder of the ball. Thiago's more creative with the ball. I think Wijnaldum will be subbed for Thiago, said Keane. Super Games. Liverpool, you never walk alone, said Craig. We need this sentiment. If Gini doesn't want to sign contract, bin him, then get Thiago. No, I genuinely don't know. I know that there seems to be an impasse in the Gini Wijnaldum contract situation. I'd be lying to you if I said I knew what the impasse was. Maybe it's a length of contract. I don't know if it's a money situation. I'd be just guessing, and I don't like to just make up shit or come on here and I can give you an opinion, of course, but I genuinely don't know. So it would be just guesswork at this point with regards to Gini's contract. But what we can all agree on is he hasn't signed a contract extension as of yet. I'd rather have Kai Havertz. Kid can play in several different positions. Yes, Kyle, I think a lot of us on here, mate, would agree that Kai Havertz would be great. But we're not going to go and spend 75, 80 million in this market by the looks of things. Would you take Thiago and Coutinho loan as a good summer? Look, I want to be really clear. On my opinion of Philippe Coutinho, who I will go on to talk about in a minute, I've been very consistent in what I've said about this. I don't want him anywhere near Liverpool Football Club. But if Jurgen Klopp wants to bring him back to the football club, like anybody else, I'll cheer him when he's on the pitch. But my preference would be to not bring him back anywhere near Liverpool Football Club. I'm going to go on to talk about Coutinho now in a second because I do have a little bit of news on him. So let's move on and talk about him. So Kevin Palmer, who I'm sure you guys know. If you don't, he's a journalist. I think it's the Sunday World over here in Ireland that he writes for, if my memory's correct. I think it is. Anyway, Kevin Palmer believes that Coutinho is available for a loan fee of around €9 million and that he really wants a return to Liverpool. He goes on to say that Coutinho has even taken steps to try and make the move to the Reds happen. Now, if we're talking about a loan fee of Philippe Coutinho of about €9 million, that's about the £8 million that Jurgen Klopp, Michael Edwards already refused to sign him back at when he was making his move to Bayern Munich. He was offered to Liverpool for a season's loan for £8 million plus his wages, and Liverpool rejected that deal. So I don't see why, when he's now older, we would suddenly be interested in the exact same deal. And that €9 million is before his wages, it's before his agent's fee. So if you took him on loan for the year, you're probably looking at an outlay of around £20 million, which to me is too much money when you can go out and sign Ben White, a good young defender, a good young centre-half from Leeds, whose parent club is Brighton and Hove Albion, for a few quid more. It just doesn't make sense to me. What have we got? So, Swanan Soman, thank you for the super chat, mate. Said FSG always concern me. We would be mid-table without Klopp. FSG are stingy and basically don't really care about us dominating the league. Yeah, the whole FSG thing is really difficult because between the owners and Kloppo and Michael Edwards and the scouts and the recruitment team, they've got us to a very good place. They've got us to the Holy Grail. They've given us a Premier League title. They've given us a European Cup. They've got us a World Club Cup and a Super Cup. So it's very difficult to be on here criticising the owners when they've brought us all this success. They've brought us Jurgen Klopp. They've brought us a new main stand. They're bringing us a new training ground. We've a new club superstore. The whole area around Anfield has been done up, and we're probably going to get the Annie Road done up as well. So it's very difficult, but I do think it's fair. I think it's fair that we're on here questioning where the money is for transfers. If other clubs have the money, why the hell don't we have any money? I think that's a fair conversation to have. I don't think people need to be going full on FSG out because I think that's a little bit too harsh. But it does raise the question of, where's the money? Why have we got no money? How can a club that has won so much and brought on more sponsors, brought on more commercial partners, got a new Nike kit deal that's going to be launching next month, where has all this gone? It baffles me. I would be lying to you if I said that I don't agree with people that question why we have no money. I have to say I do agree. I do agree that there should be money there to spend. Now, it's also very harsh of me to be on here being critical about a transfer window that hasn't even opened yet. So, you know, if we're halfway through the summer and the word's still coming out that Liverpool aren't doing any business, then by all means I think we should be on here and being fairly critical of the owners for not spending. But as of yet, we genuinely don't know. We don't know what's going to happen because the window hasn't opened yet. But I don't know. As I said, I don't know what to make of it. But look, I'll hand it over to you guys and see what you think before I go back in for the other transfer rumours. You can't say FSG because they won't spend. I don't know what that means, Luke. I think you forgot a word there in that sentence. Kyle Rawson said, Thiago's injury prone. That's a lot of money for a player who will play as much as Sturridge did at the end of his time here. Well, as Jan Agafjortov pointed out, mate, he's played 30 games a season every season for Bayern Munich. So if we can get him to play 30 games a season for us, that's probably what a midfielder would play for Liverpool if you take into account rotation and stuff like that. But I do take your point on board, mate. Thiago's class and will give us more depth to Bell Alexander. Elijah John 5 said, Klopp has made great players out of good players. FSG need to back him once in a while. I fully agree with you, mate. I absolutely agree with you. I mean, if Klopp says to you this £50 million player, which was the price that Timo Werner went for, is going to be a bargain, then how can you question him? How can you question a man who has, as you've said, brought on every player that's come to the club and improved them and turned them into even better players? Subi said FSG have done amazing, but if they don't spend money, they should be out. But they've done amazing stuff for us, but they need to start spending on transfers. Keegan Murphy said, yep, I think Ake's a decent defender. Ake's okay, yeah. He's got a few mistakes in him, but again, I think under Kloppo, he could improve. Well, hello there, who's obviously a Manchester United fan. How are you, buddy? Said, Craig, I'd love FSG at United. Would you be willing to take a swap with Ed Woodward and the Glazers? No, mate, you're alright. The way that they bought your club and the way that they're paying down that debt and the way that they're paying the interest rates and then the dividends, that would worry me massively, mate, because if they got that shit under control and they actually gave a fuck, United's transfer budgets could dwarf almost anybody else's in the world. Isn't Virgil's contract up at the end of next year? No, it's not up at the end of next year, mate. Virgil van Dijk has at least 3 years left on his contract that I'm aware of, Kyle. And he will be getting a contract extension. From everything that I've read, there will be an extension handed to Big Virg. And one thing we can safely say about Van Dijk is he loves it here. He doesn't want to go anywhere. Excuse me, bit of a hiccup. Elijah John 5 also said, I have a feeling we'll sign a couple of quality players. Darley said, a bit under the radar, but does anyone remember Malcolm who went to Barcelona and now at Zenit? Would you take him? No, I absolutely wouldn't. I've watched him play, and as I said, he went to Barcelona, but everybody in Roma was waiting for him at Rome at the airport, and then he just fucking diverted. I think even his mother, if I remember correctly, mate, was in Rome waiting for him there, but then the plane diverted and off he went to Barcelona, and it didn't work out. Cape Town Muslims in the house, how are you, buddy? Said, Campeones. Good evening to you, my fellow champion, how are you? Rabadan, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Said, God, I hope the restrictions are lifted before the evil ones go to Ellen Road. That will be brutal after 16 years. Leeds fans hate United passionately. Yes, they do. As I said to you guys before, I've got a couple of uncles who are Leeds fans. My wife has a couple of uncles who are Leeds fans. And they therefore do hate United. And I know that that's reciprocated. I know United fans hate Leeds as well. Great to have them back in the Premier League. I think Leeds always felt like a Premier League club to me. So congratulations to them. Bring back Shelvey, said Owen. Come on now, Owen. Come on, buddy. He's got a good pass in him every so often, and I'll always love him for the way that he was snidey towards Alex Ferguson. But no, mate, we don't need Shelvey back. Although, look, I can go on. I look a bit like Shelvey, don't I? Maybe a little bit. Right, what else have we got? Will Gareth Bale be a good fit? No. Him and his, I think, 600 grand a week wages, something like that, would definitely not be a good fit. An amazing player when he plays, but he's injured a fair bit. What else have we got? He's contracted till 2023, so there you go. And rumours that he's going to sign a deal 2025 with regards to Virgil van Dijk. Thank you for that one, Connor. Right, let me scroll down. Another super chat, another couple of super. Let me get Newland out there, by the way. I feel like he should be dancing while I'm reading out these super chats. Also, Klopp has to be stubborn with his demands. Owners are businessmen. They're happy with their cut, even though they don't take the money out, said Swan and Saman. Again, I agree. You're right. The owners haven't taken a penny out of the club yet. They will look to get their payoff when they sell the club down the line. And as somebody else pointed out earlier on in the chat, I think it might have been Elijah John 5, our club is valued at somewhere around 2 billion quid now, which is a fair whack from the money that they originally paid for it. So, yeah, that's a nice investment for them. But look, they made the club more valuable. So as I've always said, I've got absolutely... Go on, Newland. Sorry, I'm a bit distracted by this little dancing dude here. Look at him go. Campione, campione, ole, ole, ole. Right, let's move on. Another super chat. Alisson is terrible. We need to get rid. Right, mate. Well, super chat or not, that's a ridiculous comment. And yeah, I'm sorry, mate. You can stick your useless comments. I don't care if it's a super chat or not. Alisson is the best goalkeeper in the world. And yeah, I'm sorry. We don't need people like you in our chat. Super chat or not, you're gone. Adios. What else we got? My brother-in-law's a Leeds fan too. Was born over there. God love him, said Elijah John 5. Love the camo Adidas top. Thank you very much, mate. You know I'm a camo. I'm an Adidas boy, I should say. Right, some more transfer gossip that I want to talk about. So Liverpool have apparently, and I don't believe this for 1 second, by the way, but I'm going to go on with it. Liverpool have apparently overtaken Napoli in the race to sign Lille forward Victor Osimhen, according to Tutto Mercato Web, which I believe was based in Italy. He had been expected to join Napoli in a deal worth around £73 million, but has since changed agents, and now it's been reported that that deal could be in some doubt. And I want to just add another point to this, as Connor pointed out to me. It will be another player that when the AFCON comes back around in 2022, that would be probably heading off there for that tournament as well. So that would be Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane, and this guy if he came in, all heading off to the AFCON, which would leave us very, very short of forward. So if we didn't pay 50 million for Timo Werner and the manager wanted him, I'd be absolutely flabbergasted if we paid the money for a player. The 73 million has already been agreed, by the way, from what I've read, between Napoli and Lille for that guy. We're not going to pay that much money. There's just no fucking chance of it happening. So I don't believe that story, but it's another one that was put out there today, and I wanted to give you my opinion on it, and I wanted to give you guys a chance to give me yours. And the final little bit of transfer news that I have for you guys today is Le 10 Sport in France have reported that Paris Saint-Germain are looking to try and sign Leipzig defender Nordi Mukiele, I think is how you pronounce his name, as a replacement for Thomas Meunier, who is of course heading off. They go on to say that Paris Saint-Germain will face strong competition from Liverpool, who they say are looking at making a move for the player. It also says that the Reds have made arrangements to get in touch with his representatives. Now, I've got to say, I don't know anything about this guy. I know that he's a fullback by the looks of it. Other than that, I know very little about him. If anybody has watched much of Leipzig and does know much about this guy, please do let me know about it. But one thing we can say for certain is we do need a backup left back. And I'll go on to talk about Larouci a little bit later on as well, because I'm sure you guys have read this, but where's my notes on this one? I think I've deleted my notes on this one. Yasser Larouci is heading off in the summer. He is 1 year left on his deal, and he's going to be moving, and it looks like he could be going to... Did I put this one in my notes? The clubs that I've seen Larouci linked to anyway are Leeds and Brentford and a couple of others, so definitely another one that's going out the door, another young player that's heading off. Doesn't think that he's going to get the opportunity at Liverpool. Larouci has impressed me when I've watched him play. Now obviously we have Adam Lewis, who has just signed a contract extension, and it's a young lad that's very well thought of at Liverpool Football Club. He could be the long-term backup to Robbo at left back, I don't know. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on it anyway. And then I have a bit of a story that I want to talk to you guys as well around Shaqiri. It looks like Shaqiri could well be off this summer, we know that, but I told you guys the other day, I won't say I broke the news, but I did give you a heads up that his representatives had been in contact with Fenerbahce over a potential move over to Turkey for Shaqiri. Apparently the talks over there are that he wants 50 grand a week. He's been offered 35 grand a week. Again, don't know how true it is, don't know I don't know much more about it, to be fair, other than that's what I've read, and he's probably going to move on this summer. I couldn't really give a fuck, to be honest. He's done nothing since he's been here. I'm somebody that never gets the love that Shaqiri gets from a lot of Liverpool fans, because I just don't think he's earned it, if I'm being honest. So look, let's see what happens with Shaqiri. Again, links to Fenerbahce in Turkey. There's been a few links to him to Spain as well. But it looks like Shaqiri will be moving on this summer from everything that I've been reading anyway. But look, let's go to you guys and see what you have to say. It would be nice if we could get a buyback clause in the Larouci deal, said Connor. Maybe, mate. We've been good at that stuff before. How much do I weigh? No offence. 15 stone 10 is exactly how much I weigh. But it's a very random question, mate. But I'm happy to answer it. Adam Lewis got a new deal. Looks like the club favour him at left back over Larouci. That would pretty much be my reading of it as well. Jarif, that's probably a good show. Get Alaba, please. Yeah, it seems to have gone quite quiet. There you go. On David Alaba, somebody who has 1 year left on his Bayern Munich contract as well. 27 years of age, I think, David Alaba. And to me, that would be a great piece of business if we could go and get David Alaba. He could play at left back, centre back. He's played in midfield for Austria, I think, as well, on international duty. So, yeah, that's a good show. Captain Clun, and somebody who I would have, I won't say no problem with. I'd be very happy with if we were to go out there and get somebody like David Alaba. What's happening with Thiago? I've gone through it a couple of times, buddy, but I will go back through it as the stream goes on, so just give me a second. Ethan, thank you, mate. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you to say. Shaqiri is world class. He absolutely is not world class. He's far from fucking world class. He's average, to be fair. He scored 2 goals against United and played well against Barcelona. That's pretty much the highlight of his career at Liverpool, so I don't believe he's class, and either the manager by the looks of it, because he never gets a fucking game. What else we got? Alphonso Davies would be good for left back. There's no way Bayern Munich are going to let him go, mate. Not a chance. Thiago looks most likely, says Shea Trainer. And look, for those coming in a little bit late, I will recap the Thiago news for everybody. So, as I said earlier on, it looks like the Thiago transfer saga has taken a bit of a fresh twist in the past 24 hours. Bild in Germany have reported that Jurgen Klopp has approved the signing of the player from Bayern. It goes on to say that the terms have already been agreed with the player, but the stumbling block seems to be that Bayern Munich want €40 million from, and Liverpool are only willing to offer €25 million. But there's also an update from Varsky Sports, who were one of the first to break the talk of this transfer. They go on to say that Liverpool will try and reach Bayern's demands of €40 million, but with a base fee of somewhere around €25 million, and the rest to be added on in instalments and bonuses. And then I told you guys about the stuff as well that Jan Fjorthoff had to say about the fact that Klopp wants him, but Klopp also wanted Werner, and the owners didn't back him for Werner. So again, we'll have to wait and see. Shaqiri gets love because he's a 5-star skiller on FIFA. Well then, FIFA need to fucking have a look at their 5-star skill ratings, because he's bang average. Let's be honest about it. Shaqiri is better than Origi. It's a bit hard to compare them because one's a winger and one's a forward, mate, so it's not really a like-for-like comparison. How the hell don't I like him? Because I understand football, mate, and I understand that he's bang fucking average and that he's injured every 5 minutes. Like, just to give you a bit of a heads up, Shaqiri's only getting back to playing football now after another injury that's kept him out since January. So what use is it having somebody like Shaqiri who picks up muscle injuries and knocks every 5 minutes at the club? It's just wages for the sake of it. It was worth taking a punt on him for the fee that we got him from because of the relegation clause in his Stoke contract, but let's be honest about it, he is bang average and he is not good enough to be in this current crop of Liverpool players. That's my opinion on it, but it is just that. It is just my opinion, and my opinion doesn't matter one bit. It's just my opinion. All that matters is Jurgen Klopp's opinion. Do I follow any Irish Football League around the national team? Not particularly, no. I mean, I watch League of Ireland football when it's on television, mate, but I wouldn't call myself an avid fan of it, no. Is it true Thiago was signed? No, it is not true that Thiago was signed. It is looking more likely over the past 24 hours or so, but it's not true that he has signed, no. And he couldn't, sure. The window hasn't opened yet. The only reason some of those other players were able to sign is the window opened for 1 day on the 1st of July to allow some contract extensions for players who needed that little extension, of course, for the fact that the league was being prolonged, and also to allow players like Hakim Ziyech and that to sign for Chelsea deals that had already been agreed. But we can't open the window until, I think it's 27th of July the window opens, and then it looks like it'll shut on October the 5th. Right, what else we got? Keep your comments coming, folks. Don't forget, I'm going to be taking the weekend off, so this is going to be my last stream until Monday. So anything that you want to talk about, please do put it into the chat. I'll do my best. If I need to go on a little bit longer tonight, I will. I've no problem staying on a bit longer if you guys have stuff that you want to talk about. Myself and Connor are going to take Saturday and Sunday off. Then we're going to stream every single day next week. Monday, Tuesday, we're going to do the game against Chelsea on Wednesday. Then Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then I think it's the final lot of games on Sunday. And then we're going to be taking a week off. So you're going to have us every single day next week. And then when the season ends, Connor and I are going to take a full week off, have a bit of a break, have a bit of a holiday, and then come back 5 weeks ahead of the start of the new season and bring you all the transfer news and start building up. And we're going to have loads of new stuff coming up over the summer. We're going to be changing the Anfield Agenda logo ever so slightly. We're going to be launching new membership stuff. We're going to be doing different types of content. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you keep your notifications turned on. When I say that I'm taking a week off, if anything happens, if we make a signing or anything like that, I will be on, don't you worry about that, which is why I keep saying, particularly over the summer when the transfer window's open, make sure you have those notifications turned on, because stuff happens quickly in the world of football, and if I need to jump on and do a quick stream, I will do it. Connor said, what's Thiago sign over the weekend now? Oh, and also, yes, sorry, I keep forgetting to mention this. Although we're taking the weekend off, on Sunday, we will be putting out the exclusive interview that we did with Jamie Webster. We speak about his new album that comes out. It comes out next month on Modern Sky Records. If my memory's right, I think it's August the 21st. It was great chatting with Jamie. I always love catching up with him. So even though we're not going to be streaming this weekend, we will be putting out that interview on Sunday at some point. So again, keep an eye out for that one. Right, what else have we got? Any news on young Saka at Arsenal? Keegan, he signed a new deal with Arsenal, mate. He signed an approved long-term contract there. So, unfortunately, we won't be getting him. He looks like a cracking player, to be fair. By the way, I'm purposely not mentioning the fucking Arsenal game here, in case you think I'm glossing over it. I just don't want to look at it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to remember it. I don't want to think about that game anymore because my mind is still blown that we lost it. So, I'm going to just blank it. It's just gone. I've buried it and I've forgotten about it. What else have we got? I have a good story about why we signed Van Dijk. I used to have this taxi driver who supported Celtic and always used to talk about football. He told me about Van Dijk. I've got loads of Celtic supporting friends of mine who were banging on about him for a long time as well, and probably should have signed him a little bit earlier. What would you think, let me get this again from Harry Graham. What would you do in midfield if Thiago signs? Would he be in the team straight away? Do you think it'll take a while for him to get used to the Premier League like Fabinho did? It's a good question, and what we've seen, mate, over the years with Kloppo is that he does like to get players up to speed with both the tactical side of what he does, the fitness side of what he does, the pressing side of what he does. And Thiago has lots of great attributes to its game, but maybe the fitness levels and the pressing levels will need to be brought up a little bit. Will we have enough time to do that over the course of, let's say, a 4-week pre-season? I don't know. Harry is the honest answer. Let's imagine a midfield, though, of Henderson, Keita and Thiago. I mean, that's not bad. Or Fabinho, Keita and Henderson, or Fabinho, Thiago. You know, any mixture of that you like. It certainly gives us more options, particularly if we're playing a low block team that likes to sit back, somebody with the guile of Thiago. And we'll get to see, by the way, the guile and the creativity that Naby Keita progresses as his confidence comes along and as he keeps getting more games under his belt. I mean, don't write off Naby Keita's ability because he's somebody else who can break a defensive line. I think Thiago would have the same effect as Bruno Fernandes. He'd lift the players around him and help break the low block team, said Niels Bradley. I agree. I don't know if he'd have quite as much of an impact as Fernandes seemed to have had at United, but definitely would give us an option to break those low block teams, as you said, Niels. Exciting times ahead, linked with two quality players, Thiago and Victor Osimhen, the right back from Leipzig as well. I really hope the board back Klopp now. We need to keep our levels up with a new signing, said Charles Joseph. And Charles, I absolutely agree with you, man. I want us to go out there and make a few signings this summer. Whatever about the Thiago signing, I still think we need another forward. And I mean we need a top level forward. Because I don't know if this is just my opinion. Sometimes our front three look like they just know that there's no pressure on them. They know that there's nobody good enough to come in and take their place. Now, Harvey Elliott and Raheem Brewster look like two quality young lads that will absolutely be challenging for a starting berth in the years ahead. Whether Brewster goes out on loan again next season or whether Kloppo wants to give him a chance to see what he can do, I don't know. Also, another player who I know we've spoken about a little bit, but I'd like to talk about for a bit longer, is Marko Grujic. I don't see why we wouldn't bring him back in and give him a chance. I just don't see why not. He's our player. He's been out on loan. He's gained good experience with Hertha. Bring him back in and give him a year. See what he does. See if he's good enough. See if having the likes of Henderson, Milner and Fabinho around him will bring him on. See if training with those guys week in and week out will lift up his levels. Because there's so much to like about Marko Grujic. He was Klopp's first ever signing. He's a big beast of a fella. Give us a good presence in midfield as well. I'd just like to see him get a chance. I'd love to know what you guys think about it. Right, let me keep going. I've got loads more stuff to go through tonight. As I said, it is going to be a busy night. We should sign Kai Havertz and Mbappe in Spearing. Nah. Adama Traore is my first choice for attackers to come in. What a baller he is, says Shay Trainer. I feel like you changed your mind a lot, Shay. You were on the Kai Havertz train a while ago, mate, and now it's Adama Traore. But that's alright. We're allowed to do that as football fans, Shay. Goal machines like Erling Haaland will fit Liverpool's attack, said Joy. Yeah, but Haaland's not going anywhere anytime soon, mate. I mean, he's very happy at Dortmund. He's wanted to play in the Bundesliga his entire life. And whether he moves on down the line, I'm sure he probably will have another chapter in his career. He's still relatively young, but he's in a good place right now at Borussia Dortmund. And if I was advising him, I'd be telling him to stay put as well. Jude Bellingham, by the way, has done his medical and all. He's going to be moving from Birmingham to Borussia Dortmund for a fee of something like £23 million, I think, which is a lot of money for a 17-year-old, but a 17-year-old that a lot of clubs wanted to sign. I mean, they beat United to a signing, so that's good news for me. Mo Patel said, personally, I think we can get 40 million for Grujic. I don't know if we'd get 40 million for Grujic in this current climate. Last year, there was certainly that amount was being thrown around as a figure we were looking for him, but I don't think we'll get that from in this current climate anyway. But you never know with Michael Edwards. Michael Edwards is a man who can make transfers happen. Do you think Brewster will come back off loan? This is really difficult, Paul, because I can see benefits to both sides of this scenario. So I have no doubts that Raheem Brewster is going to make it at Liverpool. Never. I never have had any doubts about him. But would he get enough time next year to keep up his development at Liverpool? Or if he went somewhere like Leeds or Sheffield United, or let's say if Brentford came up, or whoever, if he went to a Premier League team and got games every week, I think that would be good for his development, mate. But maybe Kloppo's going to think, you know what, he scored a few goals. What has he scored? 8 goals or something on loan at Swansea. Maybe he maybe it's the time to give him a run. I don't know. But either way, whatever happens, I trust Klopp to manage his development properly, and I trust the player because he's quality. There's no doubt about it. Danny Howard from BBC Radio is playing some music before Liverpool get the trophy next Tuesday night at Anfield. Wednesday, mate, it's Wednesday night. And Kenny Dalglish, Sir King Kenny Dalglish will be presenting the medals and stuff again to the players. They're building a podium actually on the Kop. I'm sure you've probably seen the images on social media. And look, we're going to be covering that game next Wednesday. I hope you can join us for it. It's going to be fun. Our post-match show is going to be fun. Connor's coming to join me here to watch the game as well. So I'm really looking forward to it because this is the moment we've all been waiting for, isn't it? Like, I mean, we can't get the 101 points or the 100 points to equal Manchester City's points tally. So what have we got to look forward to now? Hopefully a couple of wins, seeing the lads lift the trophy above their head, and then defending that title or putting up a good defence of that title next season as well. My dad thinks Liverpool will finish 5th next season because of our current form. Well, Ethan, your dad's wrong. I'm sorry. The reason that our form is the way we are, and if you listen to Graham Souness talking about this, is it's just very hard to keep up that hunger when you've already won the title and there's still games to play. Just even if you just drop off 5 or 10%. I promise you, mate, we will finish 1st or 2nd next season. There's no doubt in my mind that we will finish 1st or 2nd next season. I don't want to belittle your dad, mate. I'm sure your dad's a lovely man. But I would disagree respectfully with your father on this one. Have I tried sugar buddies? I haven't, but my nanny used to eat sugar sandwiches, mate, when I was younger, believe it or not, which I always found very strange. Right, what have we got? Sorry. Right, so I read a story earlier on, and it's not really specific to any player, but there's a genuine belief that Michael Edwards and the recruitment team are definitely looking to add a player that could provide cover down the left-hand side. It would most likely be somebody, as I said, that could cover for Robbo at left back. And the article I read, I'm fairly sure it was in the Echo, suggested that we're looking for somebody who can not only cover at left back, but can even cover down the left wing as well. On top of this, it's widely been reported that Larouci, as I said, is going to leave Liverpool this summer. And he's got 1 year left on his Liverpool deal. And as I said, the clubs that I've seen him linked with were Leeds and Brentford. So, again, something to keep an eye on. Stephen Smith said Origi isn't good enough for a top 6 club. Name a club he'd start for. I can't really put up an argument there, Stephen. But what I've read from Origi suggests that he's happy to be a bit part player at Liverpool. That he's happy to kind of play that super sub role, mate, if you want to use that term. But I don't disagree with you. I mean, I don't see Origi ever getting to a place where he's realistically going to be good enough to play week in and week out in our front three. But if he is willing to be 5th or 6th choice striker and get, I don't know, a sporadic amount of games, then so be it. 210 Record said I'd rather see Brewster go on loan next season to a relegation battling team like Southampton. I don't know if they'll be battling relegation, mate. Danny Ings banging in goals for fun, and congratulations to Ingsy, by the way. I think he hit 20 Premier League goals this season now after the one he scored yesterday. Ian said, Craig, I'm watching this sick in bed, mate. I hope you get better soon. Lots of love from all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, can we do a favour? One of our own, Ian Barron, is feeling unwell. Can we fill up the screen with love hearts? Just to say get well to Ian and let him know that we're thinking of him, because I know you guys are just class acts to a man, woman and child. Right, what else have we got? Keep your comments coming, ladies and gentlemen. I've got two more little bits of news to go through. 18-year-old Liverpool midfielder Kane has signed a new long-term contract at the club. He's been at the Reds since he was just 5 years of age. So congratulations to Jake on that new contract, and hopefully here's to a bright future for him at Liverpool Football Club. And I always love these moments when young Reds get to sign that contract, when they get to 18 years of age and they get their professional contract at Liverpool Football Club. So again, massive congratulations to Kane on signing that contract, and I hope that he's got a great career ahead of him. Right, what else have we got? A couple of things. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, memberships to the channel are open. If you want to become a member of Anfield Agenda FC, click that blue join button. Membership is just 99p a month. For your membership, you get use of all the custom emojis that Connor Crosby has designed and that you'll see some of our subscribers putting into the chat now. You also get the Anfield Agenda badge beside your name. That badge changes colour the longer that you're with us. So when you become a member at first, the badge is bronze. Then when you're here 2 months, it becomes silver. 3 months, gold. And then eventually it moves on to become the red badge, the same as the one that we use for our logo. You also get access to our Discord group, which is where we talk offline with our subscribers, or our members I should say. And there's some good stuff goes into that Discord group actually. I learn quite a bit in there. We talk about stuff that's football related, non-football related. We share transfer rumours and news, keep up to date with the scores and stuff like that as well. So if you are a member, check out the community tab on the YouTube channel and you'll see a link there. You'll only see it if you're a member. And if you do want to join, as I said, click that join button. If you don't see it, have a look in the description of the stream. There is a link there. Also, a little shout out to our other social media channels on Instagram and on Twitter. We're at Anfield Agenda if you want to give us a follow on there. It's actually going across the bottom of the screen right now. If you have a look just underneath me, you can see there it says follow us on Instagram at Anfield Agenda. Follow us on Twitter, it's the same, just at Anfield Agenda. We've also got a new Facebook page if you guys want to go and give that a like as well. Again, all the links to our social media accounts are in the description of this stream. So thank you very much. That is about all I have to pitch. So a little bit of news on Lionel Messi, by the way. Messi looks to still be haunted by that defeat to Liverpool and the loss to Roma as well in recent seasons. He was commenting lately that Barcelona fans are running out of patience because the club aren't giving them anything. Looking at the situation from the outside, you'd surely have to point to the shambolic transfer strategy. Shambolic transfer strategy that Barcelona have had in place over recent years. I mean, I'll never understand personally why they went out and signed Antoine Griezmann. He doesn't fit the style of play that they have at Barcelona. The Coutinho transfer hasn't worked out. But yeah, look, it's nice to think that we played a little part in annoying Lionel Messi and the Barcelona fans because of that capitulation from them. They were like rabbits in the headlights when they came to Anfield with that 3-goal lead that they were boasting about on social media, saying, sure, we only need one. Surely we'll get one. You didn't get one. Hate to break the news to you. Sorry, but look, it is what it is. Right, what else we got? Apparently Liverpool have no good young players coming through and United have the likes of... What? Liverpool have no good young players coming through. That's nonsense. We've loads of good young players coming through. As you said there, Elliott, Jones, nowhere near Greenwood and Williams. Fuck off. We've loads of good players coming through. As you said, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, Raheem Brewster, Sepp van den Berg, Kylian Hoover. We've got a couple of good young goalkeepers coming through as well. So it's just United fans getting ahead of themselves yet again. They win a few games and them and Rio Ferdinand suddenly think they're the fucking reincarnation of the greatest side that ever existed. United will next season yet again finish in 3rd or 4th place. They won't be challenging for the Premier League title. And anybody who thinks so is deluded as far as I'm concerned. They've been good since they've come back, but they've also had a piss easy set of games as well. Very few really tough games for United since they've come back. So look, let their fans get a little bit carried away now. We'll be back next season. We'll put them in their place again. And I've no doubts about that. So look, we've got about 15 minutes left. I'm going to hand it over to you guys. Anything that you want to talk about, keep your comments coming. Messi sleeps with the light on these days, said Stephen Smith. Are we signing Thiago? Again, Luke, I talked about it earlier on. It's looking a bit more positive now than it has in a recent week or so. It looks like a package has been agreed with the player from various reports in Germany. Bayern Munich want €40 million. Liverpool are offering 25 plus maybe some add-ons. So we'll wait and see what happens. Tom Boland, welcome in, mate. Lovely to see you. Craig, remind me who the European champions, the Super Cup champions, the Club World Cup champions and the Premier League champions are. Why, I believe that is us, Harry, my friend. I believe that is us, young man. They're calling Martial world class based on his last 7 games. Look, allow them to have this. Allow them to think that their team is fucking brilliant, and then they will all capitulate and their heads will fall off next season when they realise that the manager is a fucking fraud and that the players that they have are decent but nowhere near world class. So look, leave them be. I won't deny that Bruno Fernandes has had an amazing impact there. They're all going to shite on about how great Paul Pogba is and how he's going to sign a new deal. Here's the real truth to you. The only reason Paul Pogba is signing a new deal at United is because nobody else wants him and nobody else will pay the fucking fee that it's going to take to get him out of Manchester United. So that's right, he'll sign a new deal at United because nobody else wants the fucker and nobody else are going to pay the type of money that would get Paul Pogba out of Manchester United. That's the truth of it, and if United fans want to believe otherwise, fair enough. They're fully entitled to believe whatever nonsense they want. Any news on Dembele or Havertz? Nope, nothing that I've seen, Yusuf, mate. Actually, on Dembele, it's gone really quiet. And another player that's gone really quiet, and not just from a Liverpool perspective, is Houssem Aouar. Has anybody seen much on Aouar lately? Anybody seen any links to him? I know Connor said that he'd seen a link to him to Manchester City at one point, but Manchester City look like they're very close to signing Ferran Torres from Valencia. So I don't know if they would be going after Houssem Aouar as well. There's also, of course, links with Koulibaly to Manchester City, and I've no doubt that Manchester City are going to open up that checkbook of theirs and spend quite a whack of money over the course of the summer. But I just wanted to know if anybody had seen anything on Houssem Aouar, because I haven't, and I've been trying to keep an eye out on it. And when I don't see anything on a player that we've been linked with before, that actually gives me more confidence that maybe we're working on a little something behind the scenes. And I've said to you before that Lyon are in a little bit of a financial, I won't say, what's the word I'm looking for? Sticky financial position, because they missed out obviously on European football, or at least Champions League football. The French league was curtailed. There's some television revenue that needs to be given back as well. And I wonder, are we going to try and make a late play for Houssem Aouar, or going to try and play hardball with Jean-Michel Aulas, the president of Lyon, and try and get him somewhat on the cheap? I don't know, but I would like the player, I really would. Connor said they're 3 points ahead of their worst ever points total, United. Yes, I don't listen to any of the bullshit that comes from United fans, because they're all living in cloud cuckoo land. They really are. They've won a load of games against nobodies, and all of a sudden, as I said, they think they're the reincarnation of the fucking greatest side that ever lived. Let them think that. Connor said Aouar is heavily linked with Juventus too. My guess would be he's going there. How many midfielders do those fuckers need? Honestly, it seems like Juventus have signed or will sign every midfielder that's ever played in Europe at one point. Any news on Shaqiri possibly leaving? Yes, Dylan, I touched on it earlier on, mate. He's been linked with a move to Fenerbahce. There's talks that they're talking about wages at this point. He's been offered something like 35,000 a week. His representatives are looking for something closer to 50 grand a week. I don't know, mate, if there's any truth to that or not, but we'll have to wait and see. What else have we got? United fans think the world against... what? United fans think the world's against them, silly bunch of fans. Look, if you've seen United last night, right, they should have had a penalty against them. It wasn't given, and they went up the other end and scored. Then they had a very tight VAR decision go their way, which I think was the correct decision, if I'm being honest about it. So these are small little things. And United didn't play great last night. They didn't play great against Southampton. They are not the be-all and end-all that the fans are making them out to be. But look, I'm sick of talking about United. Let's move on. Do you think we'll get Victor Osimhen? No. I still think he'll end up at Napoli, mate. I know that he's changed agents, but they had agreed a £73 million fee with Lille, and I don't know why that deal has delayed. Now, as I said earlier on, Tado Mercado... Jeez, how do I say this name again? Let me read this out. Tuto Mercado Web, have posted that Liverpool are in the hunt for the player, but if we didn't spend 50 million on Werner, who Klopp wanted, I don't think we'll spend 73 million on Osimhen. What else we got? How much do you think the baseball season not gone on has affected the funds for Liverpool? None. How would it? Why would it? I never understand this, Dara. Like, the Boston Red Sox and Liverpool aren't related from a financial aspect. Yes, they have the same owners, but money doesn't flow between the two of them. They're two separate entities that bring in and spend their own money. So I don't imagine that there'll be any knock-on effect, Dara, but maybe I'm being naive there, buddy. I don't know. Obviously, you being based in America, you would have a better insight into the ownership group of Liverpool and their history with Boston Red Sox and stuff as well. What's your opinion on Leeds being promoted back to the Premier League? I'm delighted for them, Adam. Absolutely delighted for them. I always feel like Leeds are a club that should be back up in the Premier League. Big up Craig's mum. Mate, if you wanted to big up my mum, you'd have to get yourself a shovel and probably a good pair of gloves as well, because she's been dead for, I don't know, 10 years roughly, something like that, mate. So if you want to big up my ma, mate, you better get yourself a fucking shovel, as I said, and dig her up. And don't bring her near me if you do dig her up either, by the way, so keep her to yourself. I love the way trolls come in and try and be funny, mate. You're trolling as B-Tech at best, mate. If you want to have a pop up my ma, have a pop up my ma. Don't do it in a kind of underhanded semi way. Go balls out, mate. Have a pop. If you're going to have a pop, have a pop. If not, then fuck off back to insignificance. Craig, do you think that because Thiago's a bit different to the players we have, that Klopp will switch up our style of play? Maybe. I mean, we're this season with the implementation of VAR, we are defending a little bit higher up the pitch because the players know that VAR is there to back them up at the offside rules rather than just a linesman's calling it. So maybe we'll change a little bit. I don't know. Vidit, thank you very much, mate. Says hi from India, loving the streams. Really appreciate that, buddy. Thank you for being with us. Would I buy Harry Kane? No, not a fucking chance. I actually was watching Harry Kane the other day and I just thought, I know he knows where the goal is, and I know he's a poacher, but other than that, I just don't know. Maybe it's that Spurs system at the minute on the Mourinho, but absolutely no, mate, no. Anyone on the idea in Ferran Torres looks like gone to Manchester City. Nails, unfortunately, mate, from what I've read. Favourites for the Champions League? Manchester City, probably. Manchester City, Bayern Munich, they'd probably be the two that I'd have a guess at. A double deal, Cantwell and Jimenez would be good, said Bernadette Farrell. I don't know about Jimenez. I mean, isn't Jimenez 29, 30 years of age, something like that? Todd Cantwell, as I've said before, is definitely somebody who's been on Liverpool's radar. There was a story that I read out to you guys the other day that linked us with both Jamal Lewis and Todd Cantwell. I don't know if that's true or not, but again, we'll have to wait and see. Should we play the B team against Chelsea? Absolutely not, mate. It's the last home game of the season. Those players are going to be lifting the trophy after the game. They're going to want to go out there and lift that after getting a win. So, no, I wouldn't play the B team. I would absolutely go as strong as we possibly can. Plus, it's important for us to keep the integrity of the league alive because Chelsea are fighting for a Champions League place with Leicester or Manchester United, and I think it's the right thing to do for Liverpool to go out there and try to win the game, like any other game. Still can't get over Werner, said David. Mate, I'm with you. I'm flabbergasted that we didn't get that transfer over the line. Do you think we should start Harry Wilson and Brewster next season? No, Wilson isn't good enough. And how anyone would believe he is good enough, I don't know. He doesn't even get a start for Bournemouth, and they're in relegation zone. No to Harry Wilson. Yes to Brewster, as in he will succeed at Liverpool. Whether he goes on loan next season or not, I've no idea. I think if the right money comes in for Wilson this summer, he'll be gone. But that's just a guess, like everything else, because, as I've always said, I've got no inside knowledge of the football club. I'm just a fan like everyone else who just reads up on stuff and tries to give an opinion. Thank you, Dara. I will absolutely read that article you've sent, mate. Thank you very much. Owen McCarthy tuning in from South Kerry. Lovely to have you in, sir. Thank you very much. John Conway, how are you, mate? Nice to have you in again. Hendo Shuffle incoming, said Charles. Absolutely. What have you got? Reina plays for Dortmund. He's young, could be the future. Liverpool, he's not too expensive. Isn't he an American international as well, Joy, if my memory's correct? He's very highly thought of as well at Borussia Dortmund from what I've read. I'm not going to lie and say I know too much about the guy, but I've read that he is, as you said, an exciting prospect. What's this? We could be saving our money for a player like Mbappe or Sancho in 2021. I'd love that to be the case, man. I'd absolutely love that to be the case. I mean, I'd love us to go out this summer and agree a deal for next year for someone like Jadon Sancho. And, you know, it's football, you never know. I mean, the Mbappe thing won't happen, but, you know, you never know. What's my opinion on Tranmere Rovers? I was born close to the stadium with support. I've actually been to Prenton Park to watch a game before as well. I like Tranmere Rovers, yeah. I mean, John Aldridge was the manager at one point as well. And Cash, who I'm sure you guys know from the channel over the years, she's done stuff with Tranmere Rovers at some points as well. So yeah, lots of love for Tranmere for me. Milner will drink Ribena out of the trophy, said LFC fan 1892. Maybe, I don't know. What have we got? Dylan said, no doubt your mum is fierce proud of you. Yeah, we didn't really get on too well, Dylan, if I'm being honest with you, mate. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. My wife and kids are proud of me, man, and that's enough for me. Do you think we can sign a proper Firmino backup this summer? I hope so, Vidi. And I don't know just about a Firmino backup, mate. I would say somebody who can play anywhere across the front three. Now, I know a lot of Liverpool fans want us to go out and sign an out-and-out number 9, and we could do. We may well do, man. But I want us to go out and bring in somebody that can push those front three. Whether that is an out-and-out number 9 or a wide forward, I mean, I'll leave that to the manager, but I really think we do need to sign somebody. Connor said, do you reckon the USA could be challenging for a World Cup in the next 10 to 20 years? They should be producing some great players, and you see the population size. The game's definitely growing in America, and the MLS, as you can see, has had massive investment and continues to grow as a league. There are some very good young American players. I don't know, is the honest answer. I mean, the points that you're making are fairly rational. They've got a huge population, the game is growing, there's been investment there, lots of young kids playing it as well. You never know, man. You never know. If you could change any moment in Liverpool history, what would you change? Probably the 89-90 or the 90-91? The season that Arsenal came to and beat us 2-0 at Anfield. Look, obviously, if I could change any moment in Liverpool history, it would be fucking the obvious moment that I don't even want to like Hillsborough. I don't even like mentioning it, but of course that's the moment that I'd change. But if I could change it on the pitch, it would be that 2-0 loss to Arsenal, Claire, because that's the game that obviously Arsenal won the First Division title that night when they beat us 2-0 at Anfield, but that was the game that made me fall in love with Liverpool. So I would like the story that I speak about to fall in love with our club to be one where we've won the league that night, but unfortunately it was one where Arsenal won the league that night, so probably that one, but obviously the main one would be Hillsborough, of course. Do I know George Benson? The name rings a bell, mate. I mean, I need more context to it because I'm absolutely shocking with names, but it rings a bell. I've already done the Osimhen thing, Lewis, earlier on. I don't see us spending 73 million quid, which is the figure that was agreed with Napoli for him. He has changed agents, so I don't know if that's scuppered the Napoli deal somewhat, but that deal had been agreed. Can you see Gini leaving Liverpool soon? If he doesn't sign the contract extension, then I can see him going this summer, Curry. The big question, I suppose, is are we going to have Thiago come into Liverpool and Gini Wijnaldum leave Liverpool? In which case, I mean, I'd be okay with that, although I'd rather Gini not leave. Will Henderson be back against Chelsea? No, he's out for the rest of the season. He should be back for the start of next season, but no, he won't be back. Would you rather have Aouar or Thiago? Oh, definitely Houssem Aouar. 100% Aouar. Mostly because of his age bracket, but he's a really talented player as well. A good link between midfield and attack, so yeah, him. Thiago and Coutinho, I'll never ask for anything again. I'll never fucking understand why people want Coutinho back at Liverpool after the way he gave that to us, the manager, the fans, everyone. He just basically fucked us over and left. He agreed with Klopp to see out the season before the season started, and then in January he forced his move. He faked a back injury. He lied about the manager. He tried to go behind the manager's back and get senior players to talk to Jurgen Klopp to try and smooth his transfer through to Barcelona. I don't want Coutinho back anywhere near Liverpool. If he comes back like anyone else, I'll accept it, but I don't get the love he has from Liverpool fans. I just don't get it. He fucked us over massively. What have we got? George Benson, the Chelsea fan. Is he the one that's on the kickoff? No, that's Rory Jennings. I don't know, man. I don't know who he is then. Hypothetically, Craig, would you swap Mane and Firmino for Mbappe? No. Not the two of them. No, I'm not going that way, Sean. If I had to swap one of our front three for Mbappe, I'd swap Salah. If I had to pick just one. Do you think we'll replace Shaqiri if he leaves? Potentially. I mean, it could help us bring in another attacking player. Should we sign... I think you're trying to say Sarr from Watford there. Fantastico or Fanastico. What is this? Fantastico 2020. No. This is my answer to that one. Coutinho is my favourite player, but I agree. I loved Coutinho when he was at Liverpool. Absolutely loved the guy. I mean, loved him. Some amazing moments when he was here. But he left. And the way he left just left a really sour taste. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pretty much through what I have to get through tonight. But let me know, do you want me to stay on for another 5 or 10 minutes, or will we call that one a night? Completely up to you. I'm good either way. Just a reminder that I'm not going to be back until Monday. You're going to take the weekend off. We will be putting up our interview with Jamie Webster on Sunday, so keep an eye out for that one. Do you think changing to a front two would liven up the front line? Klopp seems to like playing with a 4-3-3 system, mate, or some form of a 4-3-3 system. I know there are little tweaks that you can make to that. But yeah, he seems to be fairly stuck with that system, so I'd be shocked if he changed it. We should strengthen soon. I mean, 5 subs next season will need squad depth. That 5 subs thing next season isn't a guarantee. All that's happened with the 5 subs thing is that FIFA or UEFA have said that they're going to allow it, but it's up to each league whether they want to implement the 5 substitution rule. And I have to say I'm against it. I can understand the reason it was brought in for the rest of this season because players were coming back after a long break. But there's no doubting that if we go into next season with the 5 sub rule, it's only going to benefit teams up the top. And look, let's be quite frank about it. The top tier teams already have enough advantages with bigger squads and having more money, without giving even less advantage to the clubs down the bottom end. So to me, I would scrap the 5 substitutes rule, and I hope that the Premier League don't implement it next season. Should we sign Dybala? He's a great player, but we won't be signing Dybala. Elijah John 5 says, anyone here who hasn't yet subscribed to the channel, please do so. Yes, please do hit that subscribe button. As you can see, we've gone past 40k. The next stop is 50k. We want to get there as soon as we can, but of course we need your help to do it. So please do hit that subscribe button. I don't know if you guys have answered, but do you want me to call that a night, or do you want me to stay on for a few more minutes? Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I will go with whatever the general consensus is. Mark Mighty Red, how are you, pal? Coutinho's a snake, said John Conway. Every ref should look at the monitor from now on. Niels, that is my biggest bugbear about this whole VAR nonsense. I don't mind VAR as a whole, but when the Premier League pick and choose what way they implement it, it's a joke. I mean, how can you have one lad in Stockley Park not wanting to overrule his mate? Just tell him to go and fucking look at the monitor and make your mind up for yourself. If you think you made a mistake, overrule yourself. If you think your original decision was good, tickety-boo. CJB wants me to call it a night. Thanks, mate. Appreciate the love. Lots of you guys are saying stay on though. Cool. We'll stay on until 20th. We'll keep going for a few more minutes. CJB, we're not friends anymore, mate. Boo to you, sir. I'm only joking with you. Predictions for next season. Hopefully a defence of the Premier League title, Corey. We need to strengthen in the summer so that our players are challenged and need to cover any injuries. Curry, no argument for me, sir, whatsoever. I definitely want us to go out there and spend a few quid. Would I take Gerrard as the next manager? It's tough to say now because 4 years is a long time in football, Mark, so we need to wait and see, 1, what shape we're in at the time, and 2, how Gerrard's managerial career progresses. Yeah, I just think he needs a bit more. Big night with the missus, Craig. Where are you rushing off to? No, mate, there's no... When you're married, like, when you're with your missus, this is 20 years this year. There's no more fucking big nights, pal. Those days are gone. Craig, would you back a Saudi takeover for Liverpool one day though, or would it not be in the DNA? My big fear around all those types of takeovers, Sean, is what if they get bored? What if they come in, spend a shitload of money, and then get bored and start asset stripping and selling it off? That's my big fear about any potential new owners coming in, or any sugar daddy owners coming in. Like if Abu Dhabi FC had their owners pull the plug on them right now and Pep and all just told to go bye-bye and all their assets stripped down and sold off, they wouldn't give two fucks about that. The same with Chelsea. If Roman Abramovich called in the money that was owed, which I think is over £1 billion, and start asset stripping down Chelsea, they'd be in a whole world of trouble. So I'd be a little bit careful about any potential new owners, put it that way. Can we win the Community Shield? Of course we can. Of course we can win it. I don't give a fuck if we win it or not, to be honest, because it's not a real trophy, but I'm glad it raises money for a good cause. Or good causes, I should say. And if you keep spamming the chat like that, Andrew, you're going to get kicked out, mate. There's only, half a minute between your comments, mate, saying the same thing over and over again. So that's your warning. If we don't spend this summer, then where's the money going? Again, Curry, I've tried to rationalise this in my head and I still don't know. Hi, Craig, excuse me, let me get this again from Adil. It said, hi, Craig, who do you think we need as well as Thiago? Houssem Aouar, a wide forward, whether that be somebody like... it's very difficult because I don't want to say Neymar. Obviously, I don't want to say fucking Mbappe. I don't want to say unrealistic players. I don't want to say Messi. But Jadon Sancho is, to me, the one that we should be looking at. That's the one that, even if it's a setup for next year, I mean, Klopp likes him. It just seems like he'd probably end up at United, and this will come back to haunt me, but that's probably who'd be top on my list. What have we got? Danny, I've done the Thiago thing 4 times during the stream, mate. I can't do it again. People will be sick of me talking about it. Do you watch Mark Goldbridge? Why are you writing in all capitals, mate? No need to be shouting. Yes, of course I do. Mark's a friend of mine. I watch him. We talk on WhatsApp. I've done streams with him. Yeah, Mark's a great lad. Runs a great channel. Deserves all the success that he's had and will continue to have. Nothing but respect for Mark. You have a brilliant weekend with the family. Thanks for all the info you give us every week. See you at the trophy presentation. We are the champions. It sounds so good. Thank you, Jimmy. You have a lovely weekend as well, buddy. 5 minutes left, folks. Any questions, please do keep them coming. Play any FIFA? Nope, don't play any computer games at all, right? How do you feel about the game next Wednesday from a Chelsea fan? I want us to win it because I want us to lift that trophy after a good result, mate. But realistically, it doesn't really make too much of a difference to us. Big difference to you guys, of course, in the race for Champions League places. But I want us to win it like any other game, Nathan. I think you guys will stay in the top 4 places. I think you deserve to be there, if I'm being honest. It's been a decent season from that young Chelsea team. So yeah, and look, if it means United don't get Champions League football, then I'm all for that as well. Referee for Liverpool versus Chelsea is Andre Mariner. Harry, thank you for that, mate. I did not know that. Really appreciate. Do I watch Mickey Mouse? Of course I do. I'm a human being. Who doesn't watch Mickey Mouse? No, of course I don't watch Mickey Mouse. Animaniacs all the way. Have I spoken to Claude? No, not directly, but I have messaged Terry, who's from Claude's channel, and I will be talking to Claude soon enough. But no, I haven't spoken to him directly. Not since the stream that we did together. Do you think we'll win the league next season? Said Bobby Plays. I'm not arrogant enough to say we will win the league, Bobby, but I think we'll be fighting for the league next year with Manchester City. What else is there? A couple more questions. Will Klopp put out a strong squad against Chelsea, in my opinion? Yes, Danny, I expect him to go full strength. I mean, he's already spoken about the integrity of the league and wanting to win every game, and that he recognises the importance of the top 4 race and stuff like that. So yeah, I expect us to go fairly strong. I don't know how strong. Like, I'm not saying that we'll put out our absolute strongest 11. Bernadette said, Craig, if you had an interview with Klopp, what 3 questions would you ask him? Why Liverpool? What brand of cigarettes do you smoke? No, I'm only joking, Bernadette. There's loads of stuff I'd like to ask Klopp, but I'd like to ask him something after signing a non-disclosure agreement, if you get me. I'd like to get his honest opinion on a few things. I'd like to know about how much he enjoys the city. I'd like to know about the owners. I'd like to know about his future. I'd like to know about the type of player that he signs and what he looks out for in a player. I'd like to know what he thinks about the city, what dragged him to Liverpool. I'd like to know what he thinks about the cop and the stadium. I'd like to know what he thinks about Borussia Dortmund and Liverpool and the crossover of You'll Never Walk Alone, and so many things. Like anybody else, I'd love to ask him, Bernadette. But I'd like it to be an honest conversation, so I don't want the PR answers, that kind of way. It's one of the reasons I don't want to interview players or managers, because I don't want their BS PR answers, because I know they can't tell me the truth, and I understand why and I appreciate why, but I only want to interview people or chat with people that can genuinely be honest and say how it is. Love this channel and screw AFTV, said DD Games. Look, I don't like AFTV. I've said it for a very, very, very long time. Since day one of this channel, I don't like AFTV. I don't think that they show their club in a good light. I don't think that they show fans in a good light. I don't have anything against any of the individuals on AFTV because I don't know them, except Troops. I've met Troops. He's fucking sound. Claude, really nice fella. But other than that, I don't like the channel. I just don't like the type of content they make. It's just my opinion. Is Thiago joining Liverpool? I don't know, Aaron. It's looking more likely than it had done in recent days. A few reports from Germany suggest we're close. But again, we'll have to wait and see what happens. Is Klopp really leaving in 2024? Yes, Charles, he is. He's going to leave, take a sabbatical, and then probably go into another job at some point. He's spoken about moving back to Mainz at some point. I don't know if he means to live or from a footballing perspective. But 4 years is a really long time. So we've loads of time to enjoy Kloppo. I'd love to see competition for Salah. He's not his usual self, and I think a signing will give him a good kick up the arse. Scott, I'm with you. I'm with you, man. I think our front three need to kick up the arse. I think they need pressure. They need somebody trying to rip that jersey off them and somebody fighting to take their place. Look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call that one a night. Again, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Don't forget, if you want to become a member of the channel, hit the join button or have a link in the description. All the links to our social media accounts are in the stream notes as well. If you're on Instagram, please do give us a follow. That's probably the one we're most active on these days. At Anfield Agenda over there. We're closing in on 15k on Instagram. Sunday, the Jamie Webster interview is going to be up on the channel, so make sure you've got your notifications turned on. I will be back on Monday and we'll be going 7 days next week, right the way through the week until the season ends. Thank you as always. Lots of love to you all. Have a nice weekend. Stay safe. Stay well. Lots of love to each of your families. And we're champions. Did I mention that we're champions? Up the motherfucking champions. Lots of love to you all.